ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. You already know we got a great video for you today. By the way, Happy New Year. Hope this year goes great for you guys, and we are excited for the content that we have coming out in 2025. Today, I'm back with my boy Francis. If you follow him on Instagram, you already know he drives something crazy. Every other week, it seems like he's got something new. So I'm super excited to show you guys this badass C10. As you can see, it's pretty slammed on the ground. So we're gonna grab him and talk to him a little bit more about this freaking truck right here. All right, Francis, so tell me what the truck is and kind of the condition of it when you got it, because I know it wasn't a perfect vehicle, as every vehicle you get needs a little bit of work. So tell me a little bit of backstory on this thing.
Sure. So this is a 64 C10 big back window truck, which is becoming very desirable nowadays. I actually had this truck shipped in from California. That is the Wonder Electric door logo from California when I got the truck. Obviously it is bagged, 4-corner air ride. It's as low as it can go. We've changed a few things cosmetically, worked out quite a few things mechanically to get the truck where I wanted it. The drivability on this truck was very, very poor at best.
And what I really like too is, like you were saying before, that logo is their old company. It's like this was their old shop truck.
That was a service truck at some point in a different state, but yeah.
I also really love the patina quite a bit on this thing. Is this original patina?
Yeah, so the cab forward is pretty much how I got the truck. We have cosmetically changed some stuff as far as, anything tan, as far as the bumpers, the grille, the roof, we've added that. But the cab itself is how you see it, other than this little lightning bolt. Has 2 coats of Poppy's patina clear coat on there as well. A lot of people always wonder and see that advertised, and it's a real product, it works. The bed was a long bed that's been shortened. I was told that this was a step side pickup truck and they wanted a fleet side. So they found a long bed, they shortened it. Of course, none of the body work was done. It was just kind of rusty from grinding and welding and cutting, and it had some green left on it from previous paint color. So bed did not match the cab at all, and that has came together so splendid. We've added the commercial and residential to kind of tie in with the door logo that was already on the truck. I'm over the moon with how epic that came out. The average person would never know that's how it wasn't already.
Yeah, if I didn't know you and you didn't send me the pictures before, I would have no idea. Like, it really does match.
It came
so
together
well, dude.
Very, very nice.
So good. Yeah. And I love the wheels that you put on here, because it did have some Steelies on there before, which I am a huge fan of Steelies, but I feel like this gave the truck a totally different feel and vibe.
Yeah, gangster. I like to use the word gangster. There you go. So yeah, those are 22-inch welds, man, and being with such a big wheel and there's a very reasonable sized tire on there, set up really nice as far as suspension to be able to have that big of a wheel and a very nice sized tire and lay out that hard as well. So
yeah, man, it's crazy to see a truck this slammed, because I want my truck to be low. I don't know if I want it to be this low, but it is cool to see this thing just on the freaking ground.
Yeah, well,
dude.
there's a difference between a good static drop and just when you want it dead on the ground.
Let's go ahead and lift up the hood so we could talk about the motor a little bit in here.
So that is a pretty common 5.3 LS. Everybody's familiar with those. 4L60 tranny. It does have a truck Norris cam in it. And as I told you previously, we did put a converter. It's got a 3000 to 3200 FTI converter in it. Other than that, motor's pretty stock. Some exhaust. We did the dress-up valve covers to hide the coil packs. I hate when the coil packs are all exposed. And some pinstriping. And again, the tan stuff here we did. The firewall, just to kind of try to give it that finished up look when you open the hood.
I do love the way this thing sounds. Oh my gosh, the cam, it's like a wet dream, man. I am telling you, it sounds so freaking good. Plus with the exhaust that you have on here, I think it just amplifies that sound. What do you have as far as the exhaust goes on?
Yeah, so headers, 3-inch exhaust, and it's got some Black Widow mufflers on it.
Okay, yeah, Black Widows always sound freaking amazing.
It's got a nice sound for sure.
Dude, I love that you can just see the wheel under the hood here.
Yeah, as soon as you crack the hood, it's where all the gold is.
Tell me a little bit about the suspension here. Just start on the front.
Yeah, so the front is a full front half subframe from chopping block, which consists of rack and pinion steering, tubular upper and lower control arms, all the good modern stuff that you want to have when you're putting one of these trucks together. So the cruisability and the drivability is very nice. It's as close as you can have an old truck with some new feel and modernness in it.
And then let's jump to the back too, because I think it looks pretty sick back here. And I love what you did with the bed, because it was wood before, but it had a different look to it.
Yeah, I didn't like the vibe that it had, so we changed that up too. just a little darker look. So,
and then this is wild, man. I love how the access for this is.
yeah, so obviously super nice if you want to work or tinker with anything. And this is as well a full back half chopping block frame. So basically the only thing that's really stock as far as frame on this truck is just what's over the cab. Everything else has been changed. So front and rear sway bars, of course your disc brakes out back as well. This is a 4-link kit. All the good stuff. There's no cheap parts here. AccuRide, E-Level air ride system.
Do you want to open the door? Let's talk about the interior
sure.
a little bit too.
So the interior is pretty epic as well. I mean, it looks like a restored truck when you crack the door open.
Yeah, it really does, dude. And I love how you match the door jambs to that tan color that you see kind of throughout.
Yeah, we just keep that flowing, and of course all the tan pinstriping on the dash, the glove box, the doors. That steering wheel, I put in this truck out of a different truck. Sometimes we'll switch some parts around and you find something that's more fitting for this truck, so it was a win-win. So
yeah, it's pretty wild that you just happen to have a steering wheel that had some tan in it, and I think it just fits so well, man.
I seen that, I'm like, dude, that's gonna be perfect next truck, and the next one that we switched the other one out of, it just all works out sometimes. So, and
I see some air vents here. You got AC, heat, and all that.
Yeah, this has a vintage air, AC and heat, and they both work good. I've used them both, very nice. It's got a retro sound system, 6 speakers, a subwoofer behind the seat. It's got all the good stuff, man.
I love that. And I see, what is that, Dakota digital gauges there?
Yep. Yeah, that's a whole Dakota digital cluster. All the gauges are working properly.
Thing looks freaking awesome, man. I think you did a stellar job because, like we said before, man, he gets these things and they always have some issues. It's like a lot of unfinished projects. So I think it's pretty awesome that you will get something like that and you're not just here to make a quick flip. Like, I'm sure people in the comments maybe hate on some stuff like that.
People call me that I'm a flipper, and I'm like, man, I hate that word, because I'm most definitely not. I tell people I make love to my trucks.
Yeah, dude.
I buy them. Cosmetically, I get them how I like. Mechanically, I try to fix every knowing problem, issue. I drive my trucks. My daughter rides with me. I put miles on all my vehicles.
Which I think is super important. Like, he does really take the time, because I think I've seen you drive this thing now on Instagram for like the last 3 or 4 months.
Yeah,
you know,
I've had this one for a
consistently
while.
driving this thing, dude.
Yeah.
Making sure that it's good to go, you know what I mean?
Ironically, it came from California, and we've nicknamed this a little bit the California Nightmare, because it just had so many ongoing problems and issues, and we've worked through all of them. I probably have 1,000 miles on this truck since everything's been fixed, and totally problem-free. Honestly, there's not a bolt to be turned on this thing.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. Well, speaking of 1,000 miles, I think we're gonna go put a couple more miles on this thing, so I'm gonna get some cameras in the truck and we'll go for a cruise.
For sure, I'll take you for a rip.
All right, let's do it. I've been in a couple air ride vehicles. This drives really well. It's not all over the place. It's not super bumpy.
Sway bars front and rear. A lot of guys, depending on their bag setup, they don't usually run shocks. This has shocks front and rear, and the sway bars is just kind of overdone, which that's what gives it such a nice tight feel. There's no body roll. There's no sway.
It's a nice, reliable truck, which is what you want.
This is definitely something you can get in and air up and take a pretty solid road trip in, knock on wood.
Yeah, dude.
If it's cold, you can turn the heat on. If it's hot, you can turn the AC on.
Like, if you wanted to take this on a power tour,
this would be a cool
honestly,
truck
you
for
could.
That. Yes.
And what's cool too is like it's not super loud. The cam, yes, it sounds good when you start it up and everything, but even just cruising right now, like you and me, I'm not having to scream.
It's not droning, nothing's loud.
And it just looks good, dude. Like the all black interior with that
classy
blue. Like, dude, this is awesome, bro. I would drive this every day as a daily driver.
It's down for an old truck, man.
Dude, for real. Thing sounds good, bro. It's got enough get up and go. This is kind of all you really need in a truck, bro. You don't get me wrong, I'm a big horsepower guy. I love high horsepower builds and stuff, but this is like simple, clean fun.
You can't go anywhere without people wanting to take pictures or ask you questions or this or that, or hey, I had one of those trucks when I was growing up, or
I just love the old trucks, whether it's a Ford or a Chevy, Dodge, it really doesn't matter, man. They just, I don't know, I feel like they cared way more back then than they do now.
Well,
Everything
the famous
looks the
saying
same.
is they don't build them like they used to, you know?
Yeah, man, I love what you're doing, bro. It's super cool, and it's honestly like just another way to kind of keep these on the road, you know what I mean? Instead of someone selling a halfway done project to somebody else who then doesn't do anything to it, then just sells that and it just sits in somebody's yard or barn or whatever.
It's
like
fun to get one back, and I truthfully, I try to buy some pretty good stuff, but I buy some pretty tired ones too, and I get them all back on the road, and it is a good feeling, man.
Yeah, dude. All right, guys, that's the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. And Francis, if anybody is interested in this thing, this is for sale. Where can they get it?
That is for sale. Obviously, there's my business right there. I'm easy locatable on Instagram, Facebook. That one's going to be hard to watch leave, but it is for sale. Financing available. Any questions, comments, or concerns, please get a hold of me. I'm very easy to work with, deal with.
If you guys are interested, I'll leave all the information down below if you want to reach out and see this truck, or you have a lot of different vehicles.
Tons of stuff,
there's tons of stuff that they can get from you. So I'll definitely leave that stuff in the description below, but thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more content like this, make sure you like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.